I will call this meeting to order. First order of business, Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mr. Eric Seymour. So I want to thank everyone for coming out 2 days before Thanksgiving on a wet Tuesday morning. We appreciate you being here. This is a very special time for our community, as well as the school district of Indian River County. Our first order of business is the swearing in of our newly elected board members and 2 board members who are re-upping. So first, I'd like to call to the podium the Honorable Victoria Griffin, Judge for the 19th Judicial Circuit Court of Florida, for swearing in. Please help me welcome her and thank her for this vote.
Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me here this morning. I always look forward to being a part of anything that happens for children of our community, and it's an honor and privilege for me to be here today.
Pull a little closer.
Turn it on.
All right, can everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Could you hear what I said before?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I still have that voice.
Yeah.
All right, so before we do the swearing in, I do want to take a few minutes just to say something to the members that are being sworn in. I just hope that you will always make the children your priority. Whatever decisions that you make, please make sure that it's in their best interest and put aside your own interest to make sure that they are the ones that are held up here and they are the priority. I wish you the best of luck in your tenure and a successful term. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. And our first is coming to us from District 1. Please help me welcome Mr. Gene Pasca to be sworn in.
I'll try not to mess this up for you.
Okay. Which hand do I put on?
Your left, right hand, raise your right hand. And I'm going to say this in short phrases so we don't mess up,
Okay.
hopefully. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully perform
well and faithfully perform
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Do you have a pen for him to sign? Thank you. I need for you to sign.
It's not official until you sign, apparently.
It was a trick. They kept the pen from us.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Does he come up here now?
Well, he can. He's a board member now. And now to be sworn in for her second time, Ms. Jacqueline Rosario, District 2. Please welcome her.
You're both very red. All right, if you please raise your right hand to be sworn in. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully perform
and faithfully perform
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This one? I think so. Thank you.
And from District 4, Ms. Terry Barenboer, please welcome her to be signed in.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully perform
well and faithfully perform
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
the duties of Indian River County School Board member,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I'm now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'll take that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so before we proceed, any pause for pictures? Are we good to go, or?
Yeah, I'll take a picture.
Your family in the front. Pictures of all the family.
Bud?
Yeah.
They're not going to stay. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Chris, thank you. They're not going to.
Mom? Come.
Oh, your mom is here?
Yeah.
Oh, where's she at? We have to have a talk. All right, our first order of business is to select a school board chair to serve for a period of 1 year. At this time, I'd like to call for nominations for the board chair. Mr. Barefoot.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Peggy Jones.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No.
3 yeses, 2 noes. Motion carries. Hold on 1 second. Brian Barefoot, Terry Barefoot. Next action is to now elect a vice chair to serve for a period of 1 year.
I would like to nominate Jackie Rosario.
Well, do we have a nomination? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Do we have any discussion?
I think Jackie has shown quite a lot of interest in a lot of the issues and spent really a lot of time and dedication, and I think she deserves, at the very least, a vice chair position.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
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 Motion does not carry. Ladies and gentlemen, please, order. Being the fact that there was no, do I have any nominations for vice chair? Mr. Barefoot,
I'll nominate Mrs. Berenborg.
Mrs. Berenborg, do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
3 ayes, 2
No.
noes. Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, Doc Jones is our new chair. Vice chair is Ms. Terry Berenborg. At this time, I will gladly hand over the gavel to Doc Jones.
Alrighty. Our first order of business, approval of business meeting dates and times. As stated in the agenda, we have one monthly meeting held the fourth Monday of each month at 6 p.m. Board is able to schedule meetings as it determines necessary, and a list of specific meeting dates for December through November was in the agenda. So a call for a motion to establish meeting dates and times.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, let's have a vote now for the meeting times that were established. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay, carries 5-0. Now the approval of the meeting place. We have it here in the Joe N. Idlet Junior Teacher Education Center, located J.A. Thompson Administrative Center here. And if we need to have the meeting in another place or larger place, we will always notify people about that. So call for a motion for a meeting place.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that carries 5-0. Now we go into our appointments by the chairman. And the first one we have is the Indian River County Commission's Metropolitan Planning Organization. We need a committee member and an alternate for this voting position. Now, last time for last year, Mr. Barefoot served and Ms. Rosario was alternate. So I think I'll start there. Mr. Barefoot, would you like to serve or would anyone else like to serve?
I'm happy to serve again.
Okay.
I'll keep it. I'll say if you want to do doing it together again, Mr. Barefoot.
That's perfect. Fine.
Okay, so both of you will work together on that meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Barefoot and Ms. Rosario. Okay, now we go to the Indian River County Commission's Economic Development Council. We need a committee member and an alternate for this 4-year voting position. And we must select a member and an alternate. Last year I served and Ms. Rosario was alternate. I'd be willing to serve as a primary one on this one. Ms. Rosario, you still like to have alternate there?
That's fine. You can have,
good?
yeah.
Okay. I will be the member and Ms. Rosario was the alternate. All right, Indian River County Planning and Zoning Commission with an alternate for this 4-year non-voting position. Okay. Ms. Berenborg served 1 year, and Dr. Schiff was the alternate. Are there any other board members interested? Obviously, we
Yeah, I would like to be
Actually,
an
I served
alternate.
4 years.
You did serve 4 years. Okay, so this is your new term, if you'd like to have it again?
Yeah.
Sure, I can be the alternate.
Thank you, Dr. Posca. Good. City of Vero Beach Planning and Zoning Commission, non-voting position. Okay, so we have Mr. Barefoot served as the member. There's no alternate required here. Mr. Barefoot, are you still interested, or any other person interested?
I'd be happy to do it again, but if someone else wants to do it, that's fine.
Anyone else on the Planning and Zoning Commission, non-voting? Good there? Okay. That'd be Mr. Barefoot. Now, the City of Sebastian Planning and Zoning Commission. Last year, Dr. Schiff served, and this is Sebastian Planning and Zoning. This is a 3-year term, non-voting, so we just need 1 member. Anyone interested in the Sebastian Planning and Zoning Commission?
Mr. Posca, that's your area. Would you like to take it?
That one is your area?
Well,
First
I
and
just
Thursday
signed up
month-
for a different zoning commission, right?
Well,
just
you're
did the other
alternate
one.
on the Indian River one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're alternate. So this would be the main member here in Sebastian.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, may I interject there?
Sure.
I don't mean to get personal here.
Yeah.
But your work position might, if you look at the first and third Thursdays, I don't know if you're going to be here in Vero.
First and third. I mean, I prefer a committee meeting where it's once a month. That would be
Okay.
easier.
All right, so does anyone else want to serve on the Sebastian Planning and Zoning Commission? Okay, we'll hold that one for now.
And that's the same time as Indian River.
Yeah, a couple of those. All right, now we have Fellsmere Planning and Zoning Commission, non-voting. I've been on that for 2 years. I'll continue, but if anyone else is interested, Fellsmere Planning and Zoning. It's a fun group. Okay, I'll continue with that. All right, now we go into the City of Indian River Shores Planning and Zoning Commission, 1 year, non-voting position, and we don't need an alternate. And last year, Mr. Barefoot served. Are you still good to go on that one?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barefoot. Now we go into the Value Adjustment Board, 1 committee member and 1 alternate for this voting position. Last year, Ms. Rosario was reappointed as committee member, and Dr. Jones was the alternate. Ms. Rosario, are you still interested in the?
Sure,
Okay,
that's fine.
thank you. And I'd like to still be the alternate.
Unless anyone else is interested in being the member, that's fine.
Executive Roundtable. Committee meets the last Thursday of each month at 9 a.m. at the United Way Building. Last year, Ms. Rosario served, and Dr. Jones was the alternate. The chair must select a member, so, Ms. Rosario, are you still interested in that?
Sure.
Okay. And I'd like to serve as alternate. Good group. Appointment as District School Board's Legislation Liaison for this non-voting position. Last year, Ms. Barrymore served on the District School Board Legislative Liaison. Ms. Barrymore, are you still interested?
I am. I have never charged the district for my transportation or staying up there since I go up there to see my husband and stay there, so I'd love to continue on as it doesn't cost us anything. Well, I'd like to just say, I'm interested in this position as well. Since Mrs. Barrenborg did it last year, if you wouldn't mind sharing that, that position so that I can do it this year, that would be wonderful.
Actually, it's not shareable because it's only like 1 week up
What I
there.
mean is, if you wouldn't do it this year, I can do it this year.
I'd like to continue to do it.
Okay. Ms. Barrenborg, you could continue with the Legislative Liaison.
Yes.
And for FSBA, and I'll be in close contact with this, I'm working on the advocacy committee in the federal platform and the new ad hoc looking at legislation, so.
I'm on the policy committee for
Okay, good.
FSBA, so that's why I want to continue to
You
do
got it.
this, because I'm in the middle of reworking the policies for the FSBA to include the new organization for the nation,
Yes.
which is moving to a more nonpartisan platform.
Okay, thank you.
Let's put it that way.
All right, and the last, I'm sorry, yes, for committees, the District Objection Committee, I know at this time the board members will be presenting their representative. Dr. Board, do you want to say anything about this as far as timeline? I know you still haven't got all your feedback on who you're choosing yet, but the timeline, when it will begin, and just a little summary of it.
Absolutely. As you know, this is a policy that was recently approved by our school board. My initial meeting, planned to have the first meeting would be in December, organizational election of the chair. We're still pending some guidance from the state, but I think if we can get the committee working, it could help on a policy yet to come to the board in terms of helping inform this board.
Right.
In regards to what is the best policy for us to create, as well as be in front of this versus waiting and being behind it.
Okay. All right, so our duty today as board members is to select your person so we can get that to Dr. Moore, and when he's ready, starting to put it all together. Okay, District 1, Dr. Posca, who have you selected?
Christy Tankersley Maledo, and I have it written here if that helps.
She's a former student, I like her.
Okay.
Ms. Rosario?
Susan Aguirre.
Thank you. I have chosen Katie Carr-Max. Ms. Terry Berenborg?
LaDonna Corbin.
And Mr. Barefoot?
Laura Torres.
Okay, and I wrote those down. I'm sure Ms. Esplin has them also, so we're good to go on that one. Okay. The next part of this organizational meeting is County School Planning Elected Officials Oversight Committee. And this is basically just information. Membership bylaws require that the chairman of the school board hold this position. The committee meets annually in June. So I will be a part of this oversight committee, County School Planning and Elected Officials. Okay, before we adjourn, I'm not sure as far as the chair where I want to sit, so I will assign seating positions before our December meeting, see if my middle or the end works better for me. But if there is no further business from any board member, good to go. This meeting is adjourned, and we'll take a 5-minute break so we can start the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
County Joe N. Idelette Teacher Education Center, November 22nd. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, board members, we are now at adoption of orders of the day. There are no consent items to present, so I just call for a motion to accept the orders of the day.
Call for the motion.
Ms. Berenborg, in a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Berenborg, seconded by Ms. Rosario. Okay, now we're at citizen input, and I will read the information regarding the guidelines for citizen input. Each statement made by a member of the public shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. Persons will be recognized in the order in which requests were received. Time shall start when the speaker is at the podium, and the school board attorney will be the official timekeeper. You will hear a beep at the end of your 3 minutes. Persons may speak for up to 3 minutes at the beginning of a business meeting during citizen input as indicated on the order of business, and up for 3 minutes to each action agenda item during the action agenda and each board member discussion item, as indicated on the order of business. Persons may only speak once about any given item. Time period may be extended by the presiding officer. Only the individual submitting a speaker's form is allowed to address the board. Time may not be yielded to other speakers. During the meeting, please refrain from clapping or outbursts of any sort, so we can proceed with dignity and with decorum by not infringing on any individual's First Amendment rights. I need to remind everyone to direct all comments to the chairman, not to individual school board members or the superintendent. Board members may or may not address any citizen input statements at the end of all of the citizen input comments. As board members listen to citizens without interruption, citizens are asked to give board members the same respect. And as per the Florida Statute 1001372, subsection 3, the presiding officer of any district school board may order the removal from a public meeting held by the district school board of any person interfering with the expeditious or orderly process of such meeting, providing such officer has first been issued a warning that continued interference with the orderly process of the meeting will result in removal. Okay, thank you very much. And the first citizen is Jennifer Pippin, and she will be followed by Michael Marsh. Ms. Pippin?
I'm so used to saying good evening, but good morning. My name is Jennifer Pippin. I'm the chairman for Moms for Liberty, Indian River, Florida, and one of the co-founders for We the People, Indian River County. And I just want to say first, congratulations to Jean Posca. You were endorsed by Moms for Liberty, and it is an honor to have a medical doctor on the board and for you to donate your salary to the technical college. That's very humble and noble, and you saw his family earlier. That's a very noble thing to do. Jacqueline Rosario, endorsed by Governor Ron DeSantis, the only one in the county, Moms for Liberty, among many others. Congratulations, and we are very proud of you both. So with Moms for Liberty, our national organization, we endorsed 500 candidates, and 270 candidates won as of November 8th, and we won 80% of our seats here in Florida. So it's, again, a national movement that start here in Indian River County and Brevard, so we're very, very proud to endorse, you both and so many candidates across the nation and across the state that really is putting parental rights first, which we see sweeping the nation. I also wanted to give an update on the Department of Education Library Book Committee that I was appointed to. We are still doing our work. We have a tentative meeting scheduled on the 29th. And at that time, our training that we put together for the librarians and the media center specialists will go to the Department of Education to be reviewed or changed or completely scrapped, hopefully not. And the same thing with the age-appropriate work group as well. It's a separate work group for people who didn't know, and their next tentative date to meet is the 29th as well. So Indian River is getting closer and closer to the point, in the state as well, to getting the age-appropriate and the Department of Education Library Book Committee guidance to start getting these pornographic and sexually explicit critical race theory books out of the state, not just here in Indian River, but the state. So we're working really hard on that. The Library Media Center specialists and parents throughout the state. Just a little hindrance that we ran into. So I was asked and charged to do a slide on pornography and sexually explicit content, and I actually put in 4 books that are currently sitting on the shelves in Indian River County. When I sent my email with those pictures and or cited information, it was blocked from the Department of Education for sexually explicit content. I had to then go back and email the moderator, the librarians, and the other parents in the work group to their private emails because they were rejected as well through the Media Center specialists. And those were books here in Indian River County and across the state. So I'm hoping we can fix this. Thank you.
Pippin. Michael Marsh, followed by Thomas Kenny.
Good morning, School District of Indian River County. I'm not sure if it was forgotten by our last speaker, but I also want to congratulate through the chair, Ms. Terry Barenborg, who served as former chair in an amazing 4 years. Thank you very much for always thinking about not just the community, but the charities as well. So congrats on another 4 years. I am Michael C. Marsh, the president of Team Success Enterprises, also your proudly present president of the county PTA here in Indian River County. I am also your interim liaison for the MPO, many hats. We'll go through each one. First off, I want to thank the School District of Indian River County. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs, through the chair. Thank you to all these amazing individuals. Thousands of items that was collected for our Big Bird Blessing. Our goal this year was 1,000 meals, and we're on track to just do that. We're going to make sure a local shelter. And I'm going to go back, another hat I wore, I once mentioned, 200 children identify as homeless. They're going to get fed. They're going to get fed thanks to the partnership of the School District of Indian River County. So thank you very much on behalf of our entire board. I want to also thank all those members, not just financially and through the chair, thank you to those board members, but all those individuals from these local schools that right now as we speak under my voice, they are preparing meals for the homeless, for those in need. That's what this is about, folks. There's places that politics, there's no room for, in education as well as charity. Now let's go to the next hat I wear. I am proud to let you know that we're almost every school, for the school district side of things, because we also represent Imagine, will have a PTA going forward. That's because through the chair, where Dr. Moore, the importance of PTA to empower communities and families. And let's be clear, we have schools right now that some parents may not be able to be part of that PTA, like Indian River Prep, like Wabasso. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring in the community, because that's what we are. We are truly stronger together. So I'm proud to report right now we're getting ready to form Gifford Middle. We're going to go form Wabasso. Then we'll be left with just Vero Beach High School. But you know what? I bet when I come back in front of you, I will be able to let you know that every one of our schools here in Indian River County and the school district will have a PTA to make sure every child's potential is a reality, to empower and engage families and communities. That's what it's about. And lastly, I was able to serve as your alternate at first, and then we lost Mr. Luther, so I got to stand in there as that MPO representative. I'm very hopeful that I will continue to do that, but if not, it was an absolute honor to be in another role and to partner alongside my school district of Indian River County. So God bless. Guys, have a great Thanksgiving. We got to go cook some more birds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marsh. And our final citizen, Thomas Kenny. I'm sorry, there's one more after Thomas Kenny. I'm sorry.
Cool. Congratulations, everyone who won. In considering the book issue, it is apparent, according to Statute 1006.4, that all library materials must be, quote, free of pornography and, quote, grade level and age appropriate. Both requirements fully exist together, and one doesn't determine the other. The statute is referenced in the new Parental Rights in Education as the qualifier of all library materials. You cannot determine if pornography is age appropriate. The library selections must be free of it. This requirement speaks to the education standards and the goal of health initiatives to teach abstinence. Regardless of sexual preference, the Abstinence Health Initiative teaches respect in relationships and honor for another's well-being, replacing the selfish aspect of temporary gratification with a commitment to truly knowing another in a significant way. But what is pornography? I think you look no further than the definition given by your legal advisor, Molly Shattuck, in her memorandum of February 1, 2022. In it, she stated the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines it as the depiction of erotic behavior, as in pictures or writing, intended to cause sexual excitement. The challenged books all have multiple pages of this material. During the debate last winter, it was former Assistant Superintendent Richard Meyer who referenced the movie Titanic. By the definition of Ms. Shattuck, the scene he referenced is pornographic. In his opinion, it was rather benign. However, the movie would have to be edited to be shown in a classroom according to Shattuck's reference, and more importantly, the Florida education standards. At the core of the challenged books is not the question of legal obscenity. It is the reality that these books violate every code regarding the education standards and health initiatives. Allowing for unmonitored reading of such material violates all instructional goals of the district. Oftentimes, pornography does have an illegal connotation. Black's Law defines pornographic that which is pertaining to obscene literature. Material is pornographic or obscene if the average person applying community standards would find that the work taken as a whole appeals to the purest interests, if it depicts patently offensive ways sexual conduct, and the works lacking any serious artistic, and so on. The debate on the books has referred to the Florida obscenity statute, which mirrors that legal definition. There is no doubt that some of the selections returned to the library shelves are obscene. Why? The community is not Indian River County. It is the school district, which also operates under a higher civil law for the purpose of instilling education standards and proper health initiatives. In this community, would the average teacher read these books to their students? In February, the vote of the majority board members often came with the individual caveat, not in my house. In researching, it has been found that kids are not reading them. Even as evidence, the former board chair has blocked the public presentation of the cited material without justifiable cause. The embarrassment is palpable because it violates all decency and the state's common sense approach to education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. And our final speaker, Melissa Kills-Burdick. I'm sorry, thank you.
So thank you and congratulations to the new and newly re-elected school board members. We're looking forward to the great innovative things from this board in the months to come. Also a big thank you to all the individuals that were in this room. I was thanking them as they continue to engage in the democratic process, through which there are times when we wish we were, our adversaries were our allies, and but however, this friction is what makes this country great, and it also basically shows us why the First Amendment is necessary. So if we can all get past that, my question today is in regard to the 501c3s and the NGOs that are currently in the public schools and that are soliciting to come into the public schools. What is the accountability process to ensure that the state and the parental right laws are upheld even when the organization or NPO engages in information that goes against the state law and violates the Parental Rights Bill of Law? Who is the contact person in the state, in the school system? And how do taxpayers, parents, and students appeal to this violation? Do we just go to the law if it comes up? Are we holding the people accountable? Are we holding you accountable? Are we holding the school system? We're sort of in a murky area here. There are organizations currently that promote on social media ideology that is in direct violation of the state standards and also the Parental Bill of Rights, or they just speak out with great disdain for all of that. And they have a captivated audience with these children. And of course, when everybody was sworn in, it is the interest of the children. We do not want to violate that or take advantage of the naivete. So, are all third-party and after-school people, leaders, volunteers receiving the same background check, and is their material used in the classroom under that organization also screened and reviewed to the same standard as instructional material or library material? And who is the contact person for that? Also, I know that currently there are donated U.S. constitutions that are still under review before the board. So I ask you, the materials presented by the 501c3s and the NGOs and the NPOs, who is reviewing that? Because that is a backdoor for a different ideology that violates the state laws and the Parental Bill of Rights. So again, do we seek legal recourse? Do we come to you? Or who do we go to? My first response would be I seek a lawyer, okay? I'm gonna lawyer up. I do thank you in advance for taking the offense on this matter. We have been on the defense for so very long. And it's this great new school board, and I know some of you were endorsed personally by the governor. I know some of you just endorsed yourselves by the governor and put yourself on his agenda. So I am so excited that most of you are gonna be fighting this thing tooth and nail.
Thank you very much.
So I thank you for your time. Godspeed, and I also am hosting Thanksgiving, and I'm not afraid to aversion. So if you'd like to come to my house, I welcome you.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Moore, do you want to respond to that information about 501c3s?
Through the chair, we have a process. No one just walks into our schools and starts providing services to children. They are, in fact, vetted. Curriculum is, in fact, reviewed by curriculum instruction. It is aligned with the state. No students are participating in these after-school activities without the consent of parents. So the gatekeeper in terms of having access to these outside organizations, whether it's within the confines of the school day or after-school activities, is in fact the parent. You're not immediately exposed to it unless you have parental consent.
Just a moment, please. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Also, any board member like to say anything in response to any citizen input?
Yeah, but just to follow up, Dr. Moore, on that with the 501c3s and the NGOs, but what is the policy and the process? Do we have a policy and process that we're supposed to follow with the 501c3s and the NGOs? I mean, other than the volunteer process, which is something that we're currently revising. Other than that, do we have another policy or a process for which we have to vet, what it is that they're doing, how they come in?
So through the chair, I was going to reference specifically the volunteer process. As you mentioned, we're in the process of looking at in order to ensure you are appropriately cleared, whether if you're providing direct contact or direct instruction or direct support to children, you have passed the appropriate level of background screening as identified by the state. In terms of the content, that would be information I can provide to the board. I don't know if there's necessarily a specific policy that's guiding that work, but there is a opportunity for them to present the information, how it connects to curriculum, and what exactly those resources are. So some of the things that we've done over the last several years is really to look at those organizations, the services that they provide, the support that they provide, to make sure it's being provided to the right students. Whereas before it was organizations were just getting in where they fit in, for lack of a better way of saying it. There was no protocol or system in place to monitor, A, what was being taught, B, who it was being taught to, whereas now clearly defined parental permission provided in order to participate in these specific events, as well as making sure the content is in fact aligned to the state expectations.
But I guess, do these organizations have to come through the district first, or do they go directly to the principal? I'm still not understanding. A 501c3 wants to be a partner with 5 of our schools, for example. Where do they begin? Do they begin at the district level with your cabinet, or at the school level?
So typically, every scenario is going to be different. More than likely, they're going to start at the school, and the school principal is going to direct them back to our office. If it's after school, typically it go through Mr. Bass' shop, where we'll look at them. He'll contact with other cabinet members. This is not each independent school is running its own systems or structure. Those days have passed. Those days are gone. So this is really connecting with the school sites in order to say this is in fact something that we can be proud of and put in front of our students.
Okay, any other board member, any comments, citizen input?
I'd just like to know what time you're serving Thanksgiving dinner. That'll work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of our speakers. Okay, the next action agenda item, appointment of President, Vice President, and Secretary Treasurer of the Leasing Corporation. Purpose of this action item is to officially designate the chairman of the district school board as president, vice chairman as the vice president, and superintendent as secretary treasurer, as per the bylaws of the corporation. So if I could have a motion on that?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, a vote on this appointment of president, vice president, and secretary treasurer of the Leasing Corporation. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you very much. Now we go back to the Leasing Corporation meeting minutes. Just approval is being requested for the 11/16/2021 Leasing Corporation meeting minutes. I call for a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I make a motion?
Thank you, Mrs.
I'll
Zardi.
second.
Thank you, Ms. Berenborg. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, board members. Okay, now we start with our citizen appointments. Approval of appointment of a citizen to the County Commission's Value Adjustment Board for this voting position. And you have in your information that Todd Heckman submitted a yearly report. We also had one other person interested, Augustine Curran, but his application was late, and again, want to make you aware of that. So I would like to call for the first nomination for this position.
I nominate Augustus Curran. Gotta get the name right. Augustine Curran, sorry.
Thank you.
I nominate Augustine Curran.
I couldn't say it either. All right, is there a second to that?
Second.
Madam Chair, can I ask, since
We have a second.
we don't have a,
Wait just a minute, we have a second, so
Discussion.
any discussion now?
You want to know what it is?
no, I want to, we have a Mr. Heckman's
Oh,
CV.
Right.
yeah.
We don't have anything on,
Yes, we do.
well,
If we could just hold it just a minute, just remember, please, in order to be recognized, let me call you, and I think Mr. Barefoot had the floor.
I do not have, I've got copies of a lot of applications and CVs. I don't happen to know anything about Mr. Curran. I'm not
There
against
was an
him.
attachment on our agenda to give some more specifics, but again, with his application being late, that's a concern for me. So let's go back to the first one. We have Augustine nominated and second. Any more discussion?
I have a discussion. The attachments here on the agenda have his recommendation there. The one thing that I pulled up was the statute on the Value Adjustment Board. And I think it's important for you all to take note that the governing body of the Value Adjustment Board, one of those members, as we are appointing today, must be by the school board, obviously, which is what we do, and must own a business occupying commercial space within the school district. Mr. Todd Heckman submitted his CV, and he's been doing this, but what I don't see is whether he is an actual business owner within the space, within the located space of the school district. I know that Augustus Curran is. So that is a legal issue that we need to just make sure that we're following the law. So that's one of the reasons why I am selecting, or rather nominating Augustine Curran.
Okay, any other discussion?
Go ahead, Mr. Barefoot.
Given the fact that we got his, Mr. Curran's CV late, and given that it does not say on Mr. Heckman's bio here where his business is located, I might suggest that we defer this decision until the next meeting so that we all have the information that we don't have that people would like, and then we can make a decision.
That's
Well,
my
we have-
recommendation as well.
Pardon me?
That was my recommendation as
Okay.
well.
But we have all the information.
Okay, hold on just a moment, please. Again, please wait to be recognized. There's good discussion here. So we had a nomination for Mr. Curran and a second, and we've had discussion. So let's go ahead and take that vote first, as that is on the floor. So all those in
Well,
favor?
I'm still in discussion, if I may.
Sure.
But we have all the information. You were given all the information in the backup to come prepared with that information, this was the time to do it. What other information would you be looking for between now and the next meeting?
May I?
Go ahead, Ms. Barrenborn.
A fellow board member brought up you brought up a concern that you don't know if he has a business in the
No.
community. And since he has been serving in the past, I think it's beneficial to find out whether or not he has that business or not. And I think that information we don't have at our fingertips. That's the only other information I want. Had the other applicant got them in on time, followed the rules, I would say, yeah, let's go with it. But also, Mr. Heckman's been serving. And I think there's
Several
something to be
years.
said for somebody that's served in the past.
Right. I sat on that board a couple times as the alternate, and I think he has a business, but I'm not 100% sure, so I can't, say for sure. But right now, let's take a vote on what's on the floor. We have a nomination for Mr. Curran and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? No?
No.
No.
Okay. Now, with not knowing the information on Mr. Heckman, I just suggest that we do table this because Ms. Rosario's point is good. We have to know if he has this.
Right.
He served, again, I can't say for sure what his business is, but I know he's been on that value adjustment board. So right now, I'd like to take a vote or a motion that we defer this until our next meeting when we have the information. So would anyone like to make a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. You said aye, Dr. Pascal? Okay, 4-1. Okay, we're going to defer that, and then, Dr. Moore, I'll work with you to see where we can get that information. All righty. Approval of the appointment of a citizen to the Indian River County School Planning Citizen Oversight Committee, the interlocal agreement for public school planning for this voting position. And we have Mr. Robinson. He has been serving on this for a while. He is still interested. He submitted a yearly report. And again, Mr. Curran, his application was received after the deadline. So we have two applicants, Peter Robinson, who served last year, and then Augustine Curran asked for a nomination.
I'll nominate Mr. Robinson for the first nomination and Mr. Curran for alternate.
Okay,
There is no alternate for this one.
I'm looking to see if there is or not.
I don't think so.
Okay,
No alternate.
okay,
Okay, we
then
have-
Mr. Robinson, since he served last year and has done a good job.
Okay, is there a second? I second that. Any discussion?
We have the same situation, do we not?
No.
No?
Well, Mr. Curran's application was late, yes. So any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Peter Robinson serving on this oversight committee, say aye.
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 Aye,
All-
that's fine.
Three.
Aye.
Okay,
That's
all
aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Did you vote, Mr.?
I abstain.
Okay. Carries
You
3-1.
Can't abstain.
You can't abstain.
Then aye.
Aye, okay, 4-1? Nope. Ms. Rosario, what did you vote on that? Sorry.
Aye.
I
Okay.
said, yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
5-0, thank you. All righty. Now we have approval of appointment of a citizen to the Indian River County Metropolitan Planning Organization, County Citizen Advisory Committee for Transportation, and an alternate for this voting position. We have 3 applicants, Michael Marsh, who served last year as alternate and then came in as the main one after Mr. Luther, Jeff Andros, and Robert McCallum. Okay, first call for a nomination.
I'll nominate Mr. Marsh.
Second? Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, the reason why I did it is Mr. Marsh has, had some concerns in the past. He's come to the podium and talked about them. He has really turned around and done some amazing things for our community, for the homeless, for the school district, for the PTA. He was willing to serve in the past when no one else was willing to serve. This has become very political. I will say that all 3 individuals, I think, would do a great job. There's not one that I think is more deserving of the other. What I do say is that he has served in the past, and I feel like that's important.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I have another nomination.
Pardon me.
I have another nomination.
All right, let's take a vote first here on.
Did you get a second?
I did. I seconded
Okay.
it, yes. Okay, all those in favor of Mr. Marsh, say aye.
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 No.
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 Okay, that fails, so we go on to our next nomination. Ms. Rosario?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Robert McCullum. I think it's a great opportunity for us to start fresh, have someone who is non-political, someone who is a business owner, someone who submitted, I don't know the timing of the submission, but his resume is pretty interesting. He has a child in the school. He's very committed to the planning, obviously, and everything of such with this organization, with this citizen position. Excuse me. So I think that it would be my nomination for him. I would also mention now, if possible, that there is a statute for the MPO. I pulled that up as well. I also requested of their of the actual department from the county who manages this MPO, who puts it together. There's a resolution and an interlocal agreement that go back all the way to, I think, 2004, and another one from 1992 from 1983 to 1992, I believe. Or, sorry, I got the date wrong. Let me go back. It's Resolution 92-83. So anyway, so I pull this all up regarding the Citizen Advisory Committee for the MPO, and there is no mention of an alternate. You do not need, by statute, an alternate. All we need is one person. The reason why we have an alternate for this position is because the previous person who had this position was absent once or twice and suggested for us to have an alternate. But all of these positions just require one position by statute, only one. We do not need an alternate. So I would like for us to consider that as well. So my nomination is Robert McCullum.
Okay, do we have a second for Mr. McCollum?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. You said he had his child in the district?
I didn't say in the district. I said he has a child who is about to enter his first year in the educational system, and a second one to follow in a
Right,
year.
that's what he told me on the phone, so I wanted to clear that up, because I think you said he had a child in the system, so I just want to make sure. I think it's important. NPO doesn't require us to have a parent, but I think it's important that a parent be a voice for the school board whenever we appoint somebody to something. I understand that it's important to have anybody willing, and I appreciate the 3 individuals that were willing to put their names up.
Okay, we've had a first and a.
Right, I'm on discussion.
Yes.
So with Mr. McCollum, there was a concern about following the rules. He over too many words or something, I'm not sure. We're good? Okay.
We have a first and a
That's
second.
fine.
Any discussion on Mr. McCollum?
Okay.
No.
Only concern I had was, I think he'd been here 4 years, and with this organization, just knowing what we're all about with the Metropolitan Planning Organization, I think is important. Okay, all in favor of Mr. McCollum, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Oh.
Okay, 3-2, Mr. McCollum is our first one, and since we have on here an alternate for the voting position, I want to make sure we have one. Whether it's required or not, I think it's important, just in case something happens and the other person cannot be there. So, alternate nomination, anyone?
I nominate Mr. Andrus.
Okay, and I second that. Any discussion?
We don't need an alternate.
Understood,
You
but
don't
I'm
need
calling.
one for
Ms.
any of the
Rosario,
other
I'm
ones.
calling it for an alternate. We have that, I think, whether you need it or not, I think it's important in case we need backup. So, we have a first and a second on Mr. Andros for the alternate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All opposed?
No.
No.
Okay. Mr. Andros is our alternate, 3-2. Thank you very much for anyone who applies for anything. We appreciate your time. Okay. That comes to the superintendent's closing, and we'll go into board member matters.
Thank you.
Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a very, very quick closing. Just want to express my gratitude to the staff, our principals, our teachers, We are in the closing down mode, getting ready for Thanksgiving, and the work that these individuals do is absolutely God's work, and you see it done each and every single day. The level of expertise, the level of commitment, the love and care that they provide to our students is something that I truly appreciate on a daily basis. The work that we all have to do, I say it all the time, this is the most important board in this community and every other community in which is in the state of Florida. So very much looking forward. I think some people are nervous and scared. I'm excited. And I think we can have a dialogue and conversation to create a reality for our students that truly sets the example on how you govern and how you lead and how you create a public school system that is in fact propelling students forward to ensure that they have every opportunity to maximize their full potential. And I think this is the board, this is the staff, and this is the community that can lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. We'll just start. Mr. Barefoot, anything you'd like to say?
No, I'd just like to wish everybody a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, but I'll try not to, but I always do. And thank you to everybody for all the hard work. It's been a challenging but yet rewarding year thus far, and better times ahead.
Thank you. Dr. Posca, our new person?
Yeah, I'm greatly looking forward, and I'm very honored to serve this community. I'm doing this really as a service, obviously, and that is why I'm going to be donating my salary. And, I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and I want to make you aware that that also means, in my opinion, not following unconstitutional laws and respecting the Bill of Rights, and I will be doing that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rosario.
Yes, I'm grateful for the voters of Indian River County who voted for me to be school board member again. I'm incredibly honored. Throughout the process, though, I have to tell you that obviously for those who have been following, there have been some highs and some lows, and some people have asked me, how have you done it? And I'll just tell you that, obviously you all know that my faith is very important to me. And so this is how I kind of got through some of those really, really low moments. 1 Corinthians 12, 9-11 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions and difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And so my faith has really gotten me through. Obviously, this is one of those verses that really lifted me up throughout the time. And so with that said, my heart is filled. I'm so happy. I wish everyone was still here, but I would thank every single one of them. I do have a few people, obviously, that I'd like to thank publicly now. Obviously, I want to thank my mom, who was here, and my son, who was the best campaign manager everybody knows in the world, and obviously my best cheerleader. I want to thank Luca, who is my foreign exchange student, who's not here now, but you all saw him in the picture. He became my official photographer. I definitely want to thank Governor Ron DeSantis for his endorsement, for not only sharing my values and my beliefs in education, but who took a step further to give me his seal of approval. It's really an incredible, honoring opportunity, and I'm really grateful for that. Congratulations, Jean. Congratulations, Terry, on your wins. I want to also thank some people that I don't want to forget, and they deserve the thanks. Sandra Rivera, Jennifer Pippin, Moms for Liberty, of course, Tiffany Justice, who is here. I'm so grateful for your presence. Tim and Laura Zork, Angie and Thomas Kenny. Thank you so much for all of your support. Dee Lavendera, Jim and Patty Sullivan, Marge and Bernie Grawl, Susan Meal, Chuck and Karen Hiltz, Ray Mello, Judy Harrington, Lynn and Onisis Shepard, Lamar, Giacomo, Alla, Kramer, Rosemarie Wilson, Reverend John Vacchiano, who drove around with those big signs, of course, Chris Allen, and LaDonna Corbin. I want to thank you so much for a new friendship and for new beginnings. And so, listen, we are here to start a new 4 years, new beginnings. The big message in this election was really no mandates, protecting parental rights, obviously, ridding our libraries of these books, keeping up with academic excellence and making sure that all students are first, putting an end to woke ideology, critical race theory in schools. These are all platforms that I've never shied away from, and obviously 55% of the voters in this county believe the same thing. So with that said, you know, I'm looking forward to the next 4 years. I'm looking forward to some of the same and obviously new movement so that we don't have to have such polarized issues that would be faced here. So thank you for everyone for that. I'd like to also say today, what I thought was going to happen today was an item on our schedule, on our agenda that would have talked about the Holocaust. The second week in Florida, the second week in November is considered Holocaust Education Week. That's going to be on our agenda for December, correct? So we're a little delayed in that presentation, but it's still going to address the second week in November as being Holocaust Education Week, which is very important. It really is a mandate that standards-based learning lessons and activities occurred in our schools to engage students in learning about the Holocaust and the evidence of it and so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward to that presentation. I just wanted to mention that for those who have asked for it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is our FSBA conference, which is next week, Florida School Boards Association conference. I'm not sure how many of you are going. I know I'm going. I'm looking forward to it. As always, I'm looking forward to learning what their new legislative platforms are moving forward, and fellowshipping and collaborating with colleagues as we move forward. So with that said, thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your week or your weekend, your extended weekend with your family and friends. Eat well and be blessed.
Thank you, Ms. Rosario. Ms. Berenborg?
Yes, thank you. Congratulations to both of you as well. My election was a while ago, so it wasn't really on my mind recently, but of course I'm paying attention to what's going on. Let's start anew. Let's move on to worrying about kids and thinking about kids. And with that, football team, Vero Beach High School, was very exciting. It was, though, a little concerning to see the ambulance come out on the field twice this last week. I don't know if it was the fault of the grass and the field.
No, it was not.
No, it was not. But I do know that we're looking forward to getting a new field by the end of the year, so that's good. School year, by next school year, I should say. Scholarships, it's nice that all athletes are honored with scholarships. Congratulations to your daughter, Ms. Becerra. Gone are the days where we just looked at football, so I appreciate that, that we're looking at all the sports. And Veterans Day activities, they were kind of missed this year because we were out of school during the 2 days that we had to take off for the hurricane. So I've asked Superintendent if we're for sure going to be focusing on that, and he assured me that we are. And the Employee of the Year celebration to go surprise them all was a lot of fun. I missed the school bus and the trivia, but it was still fun to be able to show up and surprise people. So we appreciate that. We're looking forward to, of course, honoring our Teachers of the Year. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. I have just a few words. Welcome, Dr. Pasca, and welcome back, Ms. Berenborg and Ms. Rosario. A very special thank you to all of our staff members as they take a little bit of time to rest and relax and be with their families. Please know that we appreciate each and every one of you. As Ms. Berenborg just said, good luck to Vero Beach High School football going into the regional finals this week at home against Osceola. Congratulations to our newly crowned unified bowling team, Vero Beach High School state champs. We're going to be recognizing them in December in any other state finals. They were flag football champs last spring. Mr. Wood and Mr. Bird do a fantastic job, and we will honor you in December. I was so glad that I got to be there when you came back into the parking lot. A lot of pride in the students' and coaches' eyes. Unified is a system that I brought to the FHSAA where we pair students with special needs and those who don't have special needs. We partner them up. Probably the best thing I ever did for the association as far as what we were doing for students. And Vero Beach High School has a fantastic program. As Ms. Berenborg said, November 16th was signing day. We'll have a few more of those. with our schools. Congratulations to all athletes who have chosen a school. You should be very proud. A lot of good things happening there. Don't forget to our ADs and principals getting your state finalists to Kristen Maddox so we can honor you in December. And even though it was a short hurricane, if you will, we still had our principals and assistant principals and district staff out in the shelters. I thank you. I got around to the Freshman Learning Center. I don't think people ever realize what you do. Just talking about starting anew and being there for people. Dr. Moore, my priority as a chair, and I'm very, very privileged to have it, is to make sure I keep the business of the board at the forefront. We've all talked about students, but more importantly, as adults, we lead by example, and that is very, very important to me. When I was a principal, assistant principal, dean, I knew someone was watching every second, and I always wanted to lead by example. Listen, in our meetings with Dr. Moore during the week, there's a lot of discussion going on there. I won't go into a lot of details, but there's always a lot of discussion. But here on this board, it really is okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree, but we always must do it with respect. I always said, model what you expect, because children are watching all the time. And when we look at our policy regarding standard for boardmanship, we have to look out for the welfare of every student. Each and every student has value, and it's very, very important that whenever we make a decision, it is for each and every student. Everyone have a blessed Thanksgiving and be safe. Thank you. Okay, what time is it? This meeting is adjourned at 12:46. Thank you.